Hey, everybody, this is Eric Stahl.
And I'm Daryl Scott.
And I'm Gabe Casey.
Welcome to Throwin Wrenches Podcast. You're listening to the auto podcast that has recovered from the Spoon River Drive. Gastronomically, that is. On this episode of Throwin Wrenches,
we have a lawyer in the house. Welcome back, Mr. Gabe Casey.
It's official. Lordstown is making trucks.
Woohoo. And blue ovals are hard to find.
All that and more on this episode of Throwin Wrenches.
Get that funky beat going, Daryl.
Yeah, we're trying.
I think you need a slide, though. I think we need to, country western this thing up a little bit, maybe. Yeah, maybe in the future.
Like a slide rule?
Yeah, slide guitar, come on.
Anyway. We're hip, we're cool.
Yeah, not really.
Daka.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Remember, to join the fun of the show, you can always send us an email, info@throwinwrenches.com. We actually have a great listener email coming up at the end of this show, somewhere in the middle of the show.
Possibly the best one you've ever had.
We're sprinkling it in.
Well, I kind of saved it maybe for Gabe Casey. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. You're serving him up some softballs.
A little bit. Hey, if you don't know my co-host, let me tell you about my favorite co-host, Daryl Scott. He's a man of charity. He has a heart as big as a post-Christmas Grinch. A heart 3 sizes bigger than it was before Christmas. But he is noble. Oh, God, I screwed this all up. I start over. Boop, boop. Anyway. All right. Hey, if you don't know my co-host, Daryl Scott, he's a man of charity. He's got a heart as big as a post-Christmas Grinch. A heart 3 sizes bigger than it was before, if you don't know what that means. But this noble and determined car rescuer doesn't have a garage to house all those unloved classics. What will happen to his big-hearted wife if he finds more stray 50s classics that follow him home? That's my co-host, Daryl. We wonder out loud.
Well, there's a lot to wonder about. I should probably see a doctor about my enlarged heart, though. For those who don't know my co-host, thank you, by the way.
Yeah.
For those who don't know my co-host gets things done. He doesn't whine about it. He doesn't complain. He doesn't procrastinate. He simply rolls up his sleeves and digs in. That's also what his plan of action is when it comes to a skillet breakfast, which he also never shies away from. His motto is, mind your own biscuits and life will be gravy. He's Mr. Eric Stahl.
Thanks. I think I lean more towards Rachel Coos than, Julia Child, but
a little bit.
I got a little Jacques Pepin in there, too.
A little Francois.
Yeah.
And, what about our other co-host?
Well, no, I did not write this for Gabe.
Oh, you didn't?
I didn't write this. Did he write his own?
No.
That's not allowed.
I should have.
Did he?
Should I do a cold read on this? I've never read this before.
I don't know.
How could it go poorly?
Right? Gabe Casey, from the land of pumpkins in Farm and Fleet, our longtime friend and co-host, is a kind of guy that would be a great life coach. He's direct. He's honest. He also encourages us to always buy the cool old car, truck, bike, or ceramic elephant collection that comes into the right place at the right time. He's like that unclaimed freight store because he's all about the deal. He's Mr. Gabe Casey.
Oh, thank you.
I ingratiate it a little bit, but
Appreciate that.
Very nice.
You do have, by the way, for the folks at home, you do have a ceramic elephant collection still.
No,
right?
I resold it.
You sold it.
The whole thing?
Yeah, I kept 5. I gave them away, and I sold it.
Did you go to Antiques Roadshow or
No, Facebook Marketplace, and I made $10.
Seriously?
Yeah, you got one, I got one, Eric didn't get one.
I did. What's up with that?
I do have a really nice one. He holds the washcloths by our kitchen sink.
Anytime I buy anything anymore, I always ask, will it fit on my sailboat when I retire? And I don't think your elephant would have fit on my sailboat. So
Fair enough.
That's actually a really good qualifier. Will this fit on my sailboat?
Yeah, or your Cadillac.
Yeah, right?
Same size.
As you sail away in it.
We're going to be living in each one of those things. Quick thank you to our longtime sponsors, one of which you'll hear about in a moment, but the first of which is a very familiar fixture here in the greater Tazewell County, Tri-County area, Fort's Toyota of Pekin. And full disclosure, Eric.
I do work at Fort's Toyota. I started there in 1996.
Back before they had electricity, right? It was like Pony Express.
Yeah, well, the internet was definitely on stone tablets.
It was. And you were selling Corollas back then.
Yep.
Fort's Toyota of Pekin, Toyota-Pekin. right?
Yeah, Toyota-Beacon.com.
You can check them out. They are on the web. All kinds of great stuff. Wonderful service, great selection, new and used vehicles. And if you're into the trucks, they do have Tundras. They do have a lot of FJs still on the lot, right?
Yeah, we got a couple of used FJs. And, man, I tell you what, we got 2 new Tundras on the lot right now. Gorgeous trucks. If you haven't driven the new Tundra, highly, highly recommend it. And we've had a couple hybrids come through now, and the guys are loving the fuel economy, and they're loving the power. Those trucks just leap with all that torque from the EV motor. So
twin turbo too, right?
Yes.
Little twin turbo.
Is it twin or is it single? I think it's single.
Sure. I need to check one out. I saw a black one on the way over here, and it had fully tinted windows and some rims on it. It looked pretty sweet.
Great trucks, yeah. So check out Toyota-Beacon. You can also find them at Forts Toyota on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. They'll get you everything you need. You'll probably see my mug on some video, surely enough, if you sign up for any of those services.
You're good with the social media.
That's what I do.
Yeah. Gabe Casey for Tazewell County State's Attorney. We also would like to thank Mr. Gabe Casey, who happens to be sitting here to my right, Eric's left.
Thank you.
Do you have this set up in like a stereophonic thing, so if people have their headphones on, they hear me on one side, but Gabe only in the middle of their head?
That would be awesome.
That'd be kind of cool. I'd be like the best in the middle.
It'd be horrible.
if Gabe was the voice in your head, that would be fun.
You'd be chiming left and right. They'd be turning their head frantically, getting sprains, calling me for suing you.
Mm-hmm. Hey, over here, over here.
Look like Vincent D'Onofrio in Men in Black. That's a weird reference.
A chameleon actor, by the way. We could go down a rabbit hole on that. But anyway, that's the pre-show, folks. Anyway, go ahead.
No, that's all I was going to say. Gabe, you do have a website.
I do. It's Casey4SA.com. And, just want to serve the people of Tazewell County, give them an option. First time in like a decade or more, this is up for contention. So, if you want your voice to be heard, tell your friends and family.
Excellent. Check that out on the web. Also, thanks to our Patreon folks who help keep the lights on, keep everything running, and we truly appreciate your support. It has helped us do what we do, and we couldn't be the podcast Goliath that we are.
Yeah. A couple of Patreon folks got some actual stickers from me this week, so they're probably thankful for that. Although they didn't send me any. I think they sent me all these messages. Hey, didn't get any stickers. But I know they got them this week. So where's those responses? Hey, Eric, got those stickers.
Are you like the type of guy that sends an email with read receipt requested?
No, but if I could, I would. No.
Certified mail.
Yeah. No, Patreon folks got an hour and 20 minutes of kind of comedy gold. Some people say the Patreon pre-show is better than the regular show. You be the judge. Sometimes I think if you go to Patreon, there might be a free episode or 2 out there, so you can check that out. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, this
wasn't all French films this time either.
No, it was
Dahmer. It was all Dahmer.
A lot of Jeffrey Dahmer and food.
It was excellent. If there is ever a time to sign up for Patreon, it is this week.
Oh, thanks. Thanks for the feedback. Speaking of feedback,
yeah.
Still no reviews.
What?
But the best email ever, maybe?
Well, I mean, Camaro guy sent us in an email, and I kind of saved it. I could have read this email last week, but you didn't show up for that last show. So I thought, I'll just push this out another week.
Scheduling conflict? It's fine.
Yes.
Some of us are busy.
Some of us have lives. Yeah, some of us have lives.
Yeah, I know. I get it.
Yeah.
Okay, so Camaro guy sent this great email. I condensed it down a little bit, but he said he loves the show. You entertain me all day while I'm at work. I like how you have your projects in the show and you talk about obscure things and keep up the good work. I would like to hear more from Gabe Casey.
There we go. Here we go.
Hopefully,
come on, Daryl.
No, wrong button. That's what I meant to hit.
Hopefully I didn't spell that wrong. No, you spelled it right. That's the correct way to say Gabe Casey. Also, he did condolences for my daughter. Thank you so much. Yes, the spelling of Planet Stall, and I'm just going to throw a little pitch out there. Planet Stall. My last name is Stahl, so it's planetstall.com if you want to read all about the drama that's going on in the Stall household. I do appreciate all the support. Thank you. Ending on a happy note, I really love the show and you guys sharing your knowledge and information and all your collections. I recently gave my father-in-law a 52 Buick. He gave it? Wow.
I guess so.
That's pretty nice. I mean, he must really like his wife and his father.
That's a good son-in-law.
Yeah, I guess so.
It is. 52 is cool. Got a nice little taillight trim, a little piece of chrome on the end, and the Fireball 8.
If you say so. He says it's a special 40 Series straight 8 with a 2-speed automatic. Seems like just an old antiquated car. I wouldn't have anything to do with.
Oh, my gosh. How dare you. How dare you.
We haven't gone that far into raising kids is a big commitment, so it's in good hands. Love the show, and I'm chomping at the bit for the next episode. Keep up the good work. Well, Camaro guy, you'll be thrilled to know that Gabe Casey is all over this episode, so sit back and enjoy.
That's right.
I'm all over the pre-show, too. Honestly, after tonight, I cannot pitch it enough. I had a great time. We were all dying laughing. We've had a lot of outtakes already here tonight. We're having a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah, Patreon members, by the way, you're going to get some bloopers.
Yeah.
You're going to get a lot of bloopers, but that's fine.
Yeah. Should I decide to release them? If they embarrass me, I may not.
What if we have like the Disney vault? Like they go into the Disney vault, and then 10 years later, they're out of the vault. Maybe we do that.
I'll have to make a hand-hammered tin for the people who want to buy it. There'll be like 3 of them. Sarah will be 1, Rachel 2, and then the third one I'll just keep around the house till somebody wants it.
And we need to put it on like an 8-track or some other like media that nobody can play.
Yeah.
That would be
Cassettes are still hip. So dude, we should sell our show on a cassette.
Good luck finding a CD player nowadays. What are you talking about?
Right.
Like in a modern car? No.
How did we go from cassettes to CDs and then back?
This is post-show material.
So
I don't know.
stupid.
Anyway.
Cassettes are terrible.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for sharing, and thanks for commenting. Of course, you can always share the show all over the place. Put it on Twitter, put it on Instagram, put it on your LinkedIn. I even share it on LinkedIn. Do you know that? Do you do that, Daryl?
No.
Do you have that level of commitment to the show?
On LinkedIn?
No, it's Facebook for business people. I don't want anything to do with it.
Well, this is kind of a cool side hustle, right?
You know, I need to add that to my LinkedIn. Co-host at throwingwrenches.com.
Yeah,
Wow.
I mean, next thing you know, you'll get like a podcasting course at ISU.
I'll be like the second in command at Rivian next month.
You might. You might be. Or you might be producing Kanye's next album.
Yeah.
Who knows?
What?
Hey, and I did want to give a big shout out. Of course, thanks to everybody for listening and everything like that. But thank you, Gabe. I don't think you and I have sat down on the show being recorded where I've actually thanked you for stepping in while I was gone for my 2 or 3 months there. So
We haven't, but I heard it on the other shows, and I appreciate it.
Okay.
And we had a blast, so happy to help out when I can.
you know what you're doing.
Daryl is murdering me with the sound effects. Every time there's a sound effect, he picks the worst one possible.
Yeah. Is there one that says you suck? I mean, you can play that while I'm saying he's great.
It could be. Ooh, there's another crowd one.
That's nice. All right.
By the way, this just appeared, by the way. I don't know what happened. I hit the wrong button.
No, like I said earlier in another episode, probably, when I was just like, man, screw it, I'm out of everything, and I just like handed you the keys to the shop, and you're like, okay.
It was shocking because we didn't talk about it. I didn't suggest it, and I was happy to help. So
you
don't worry about it.
You just walked into the dealership one day. I'm like, here you go, man. And like I said, if you want to sit down in my office, you can have everything because I'm out. And no, you guys did great. Love listening to those shows. And I was actually a little bitter. I'm like, Regan showed up? What the hell? I haven't had Regan on in like a year, and he shows up.
He's been on like 4 times though. Like you've had him on a lot. It's fine.
It doesn't matter. It's still special.
It's not like he's the unicorn.
I hung out with him today. I was half expecting you to go, hey, Regan's in town. You going to do lunch with him?
Wait. He was here today?
Yeah, I was at ICC Power Days. I'll get into that in the project section.
There's 4 mic inputs on this board.
He was running back Chicago.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So, all right. So that brings us to the first segment of the show, the project segment, where we all talk about all the things going on in our garages. And should I go first?
Kick it off, brother.
Mine kind of suck, really. I sold my Supra this summer, and I never even touched the Celica. It's still sitting in the storage facility at Forts, which is great.
Which Celica?
I was going to say that. You beat me to it.
They're Celicas,
the 96.
Hang on. How many Celicas do you own?
3.
Okay.
All right.
Wait, you still you have the red one.
Yeah, I
He's
do.
got like a part Celica that I saw the other day, and I was like, I forgot Eric owned that.
Yeah. Even Eric forgot.
That's a true story. So anyway, so I haven't done anything with those cars. I'm trying to sell Aiden's 4Runner. My son's 4Runner. It's a 19.
How much?
I think I'm going to ask $3,500 for it, $3,500. I don't know. But the Plastidip, our power spray at work can't get all the Plastidip off it. So now it's just like it's all stripped down. It's all tan everywhere except around the edges and the windows and everything. There's blue, like hanging out like an inch.
Yeah.
It's like it's terrible looking. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I need to find some way to get all that Plastidip off there.
Plastic razor blade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that's going to be a lot of plastic razor blading.
Yeah, well.
Sounds like Aiden's job.
You should.
Oh, he doesn't want me to sell it. He'd just rather I keep the truck. And then as it sat all summer, I think one of the calipers is sticking. So one of the pads is kind of sticking on one side. Sometimes you get in it, brakes work fine. Other times, oh no, you got to mash that sucker like crazy and nothing's happening. So I get the feeling I'm going to have to throw a caliper in the sucker to get it sold. So it is what it is.
That's all right.
It was a good truck. I mean, how much did you even pick it up for?
I paid $1,800 for it.
And he wants twice that, folks, with the stuck caliper. Deal of the century.
I'll fix the caliper, for God's sakes.
You heard it. He's going to fix it.
I'm just saying, it'll be fine. You'll sell it. You'll get a good price.
You know what? I fixed power steering on it. I fixed the exhaust on it. I put bigger tires and rims on it.
Yeah. So how much do you think you have in it total?
Oh, God.
4 or 5 grand?
Yeah, probably 4 or 5 grand.
Yeah, that's fair then.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. But it gets 18 miles. 18 is probably strong. Probably gets 14 miles a gallon. So there's no use for it around our house. It just sits outside.
Yeah.
It's a fun car for somebody. It'll be a great car. It starts up. It's a 2.7-liter four-cylinder, two-wheel drive. Probably a safety hazard, like when my son wiped out his first snowy
winter,
day. Yeah,
winter time.
But you know what? It's always going to start and it's always going to run. And that truck will literally be on the road 20 years from now if somebody takes care of it. So even if they don't take care of it, it's probably got 10 years left in the tank. And then today, like I was saying about Regan, I went to ICC. Illinois Central College is our local community college here. It was Power Day. Power Day is where they bring in all the students. And so I went up representing Fort's Toyota. But Regan was there with a booth basically for Toyota. So Dan, the service manager from Peoria Toyota, and I, and one of my technicians, Drew, you all know Drew, he was there, and it was great. Dude, it was an amazing showing. I mean, there was just tons and tons of kids. I had 300 stickers, and I think I gave out 250 of them at Fort's Toyota. I love having swag, because the service manager from the other toy store, he doesn't have anything. He just stands there. I'm like,
amateur.
Yeah.
Here's a sticker.
Yeah. Put one on your toolbox. They're like, yeah, that'd be so cool. That'd be so, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, one of the guys, I work at Peoria Toyota. I don't know if I should do that. I'm like, well,
you do what's right for you.
Follow your heart.
Yeah, but it was a good day. And so Power Day, all the community college kids, well, actually, I take that back. All the high school vocational kids come back to ICC, and they show off the skills they've learned throughout the year at their high schools, and then they compete. So they have time. There's a horn that goes off every 15 minutes as they move stations, and the kids take breaks on and off calipers, and they do alignments and balance tires and stuff like that. So it's a lot of fun. It's very practical and cool, kind of competition, kind of I would say get your hands dirty type of thing, which you don't think really goes on, but it's going on your backyard. There's probably Power Days everywhere across country, but if you're not in tune with auto tech and stuff like that, maybe you don't even know about it. So I like participating in that. I like talking to those kids. I love hearing their excuses of why they're not doing this or that as they stand there and talk to you at the booth. It's so funny.
Like what?
I'm not gonna go to tech next year. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I remember being 17, 18, thinking I had the world figured out. I'm gonna do this or that. With these kids. I'm like, all right, well, remember, we're here if you need us. But.
Can I be that guy? Obviously, mostly male, but were there some younger females?
Yeah, there were, I would say it's 99% male. Of the 250 kids that I gave stickers to, there was probably 3 girls that came through there.
I mean, talking with some friends who were volunteer firefighters, they were talking about how young males are hard to recruit at that age because, older teens, early 20s, where it's, I got to figure it out. I don't know, blah, blah, blah. Or they recruit them, they get involved, and they know everything, and then you get to a fire, and they're like, I don't know what's to do. Yeah, and he's like, the young women that get involved, like they take direction, they know what's up, they read stuff, they read procedures, policies, textbooks, and they just do it. Yeah, and I know that's the case too. I know there's a lot of younger women who are getting involved in some of the other trades like automotive tech, and it's cool to see because
I would like, it'd be awesome because I think men by nature muscle their way through stuff. I mean, if you don't know any better, you just hit it harder with a hammer, right? Whereas women have a little more finesse. They might think about it.
Yeah. Maybe I should read about this.
Yeah. Maybe. So it would be interesting to see, but I still think the overall conundrum of the industry is, we have big, heavy tires, and we have to move these things around. We have to lift things. And so, that is the reality of the job. So if
there's a place for that too, for the muscle, the strength.
Yeah, there is. Yeah. So it's a dual-edged sword for this kind of job. You need intelligence, but you also need to be able to heft some weight around. So,
but not that much, because I'm a small guy. Drew's a small guy. Drew does it. I do it.
But he worked for 5 years on Lubrec, doing tire rotations, stuff like that. And,
sure.
That's what you have to do, and you have to be. Dude, I hate it. I did. So there was a guy who was in the other day, and we were moving some tires around, so I went up there to help the guys in the lane, and just holding up one of these giant 35s on a lifted Tundra.
Weighs about 60 pounds.
Yeah, 100 probably. And it's bulky, and you're trying to line up the 5 lug studs, and just, oh my God,
It's harder the older you get.
Yeah, You're in your 50s,
In your 20s, you're like, no problem.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We hire all these young kids to start off these jobs, but as they get older, and you watch the guys, you're like, man, you appreciate the young kids doing that heavy lifting.
Yeah, my neighbor was a mechanic at Center State International. He used to work on international trucks for 30 years. And he messed his back up, messed his knees. Just leaning over an engine bay, taking a cylinder head off a diesel engine. A lot of weight. Mm-hmm. And he'd watch these young guys come in and be like, hey, man, you need to lift differently. You need to do this differently. I got it. It's no big thing, old timer. And he's like, I'm telling you because I was you, and I thought I could do any and everything. And, after about 20 years of that and 2 back surgeries, it ain't worth it.
Well, I tell you, the industry is kind of leading towards a mentor-type relationship where we could take older guys like that who have tons of skills and are very valuable to the store, but they don't want to be hefting stuff around. Why can't they be helping and kind of walking around helping younger guys? Because, and I talked to Todd Fortier about this too, curriculums don't change fast enough for what we need to know in the industry. So,
in terms of technology and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
The community colleges, even the high schools are looking for they need tools, they need engines and equipment to kind of tear down, and they're not getting stuff fast enough. I mean, tearing down the same 1995 Camry over and over and over every year isn't teaching the kids anything new.
Right.
So, I mean, is anybody donating anything to them? Do they have scan tools? I mean, there's all this stuff they need. So ultimately what happens is these kids, no matter how educated they are at the community college or at the vocational school, they're still going to get a ton more education even just working in the shop, which sucks because I wish the education process was better for them. So, but like Todd was saying, they have to pivot. They have got to work harder and faster to keep up with the industries. So they're conscious of it. And I like going to things like this so we can have these conversations so there's people on the other end who actually are cognizant of what's going on.
They're thinking ahead.
Yeah. So Todd's a good guy. I think he says he's retiring in 5 years. So we'll see what that means. He's not on the coast. That's a good thing. He said he's at the point now where he will vocally challenge people, where he's like, hey, you know what? We need to be working on this. He's not there just to sit back and wait for the last 5 years of his career, right?
Good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him. He was on Throwin Wrenches back in the early days.
We talked about it. We need to get him on. We got a couple guys we need to get on. We need to get on Tim Oyer and talk about Nationals, SCCA.
Yeah.
And, Fortier talked about getting him back on because he was on back when I think we were still on our old equipment.
Yeah, it was really old.
It was.
It was a fun interview.
Yeah.
And it was nice to see that shop too, because I think he had just gotten some new Hunter
he did.
alignment racks or some other things, and I was geeking out in the shop looking at all the cool tech.
But, you knew every engine that was sitting there on But that lends itself to the point I just made. Some of those engines that were on those engine racks, they were old, right?
Yeah, and if you're rebuilding a Turbo 400, that's cool. Nobody's bringing a Turbo 400 into a shop. We're on 10-speed transmissions now. So, no, to your point, I think that's a fair assessment. The shop class that we all kind of grew up with and saw, that's a thing of the past because that stuff doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So,
last but not least, SCC Southern Cruiser Crawl is going on this weekend down in Hot Springs, Arkansas. Man, I want to go last year, and I think my kid was doing something. Aiden was doing something, and so we skipped it. It was probably the first year I'd skipped it in 7 years.
I think you were doing college visits or something, weren't you?
It was something like that. I think it was pre-registration or something for Carthage. But this year I'm skipping it because of summer, and I talked to some people, and Jake is going down. And man, I am the Toyota Land Cruiser Association people have been so kind to my family. Believe me, I am there in spirit. I wish I was there. Next year, I'm hoping to make up for lost time. So I hope they all have a great time. I hope that some people who are at SCC, like Mike and, of course, Jake going down, listen to the show before they get there. Hopefully we'll have it out for them.
Yeah.
That's all on Daryl, by the way.
There's going to be a lot of production.
No stress. No stress.
Anyway, that's all I got. What do you got, Daryl?
Not much. I know it's been 2 episodes. We talk about the Cadillac interior and the 55 Cadillac, but my wife and I are almost done. She has one section. I say she because I don't sew. She's got one little section of the lower part of the front seat back that needs to be stitched. A little bit of padding stuff back in there. Stuff you won't even see it once it's all together, but it does need to be fixed. And a special shout out to a friend and listener, Dave Lenny, who is a former coworker of mine and just an all-around great guy. We need to have him on the show.
Yeah.
When he's not working on building Jeeps or off-roading and doing cool stuff in his shop, he rebuilds and restores jukeboxes. And
ooh, cool.
He's a jack of all trades. Super cool guy. And I needed some welding done.
Is he a music nerd too?
He appreciates music. Yeah.
I mean, because if you're doing jukeboxes, you'd think you'd stack the ultimate collection in a jukebox, right?
Some of these come with 45s, full, just a random selection of weird stuff.
Yeah. All right, I'm down.
I don't need another hobby, but I'm like, I could see getting into jukeboxes. But at any rate, he volunteered to help weld some stuff on my seat that I needed and just made time for me on a Sunday. He took time out and really appreciated his help. So anyways, I'm really happy with how everything's in. The back seat's in, everything, carpet's in. I actually got to kind of sit in the back seat after restuffing all the upholstery, and I'm actually really happy. The thing's going to be fun to ride around in. And a couple of friends have said, well, what are you working on the seats and stuff for? You haven't even started it. You haven't even got it running. And I'm fine with that. So I'm just doing it in a weird reverse order. But before winter, I hope to have a little blitz where I get the thing running. And then I spent some quality time with our 47 Chevy we call Oscar. He's a 47 Chevy Fleetline Sportmaster sedan. Nice original car from out in Fulton County, and did a little drive with my car club. Drove through rural Knox County, Illinois, and drove through a little covered bridge and through some back roads and saw an old Hudson Hornet, old Studebaker farm truck, and just some really cool stuff along the countryside. Some old Alice Chalmers tractors and vintage John Deeres, things like that. Had a nice little cruise a couple weeks ago with my car club, and you know what? That's a nice original car. It's unrestored, but it runs, drives, and I cleaned it up as best I could. And that's one that I appreciate so much, but I take it for granted because it just sits in the garage most of the year. I take it out like 2-3 times a year. And I put about 250 miles on this thing. And I'm like, why don't I? Same thing with the 55 Plymouth. Like, why don't I drive this more? This is fun to drive. It's a little 6-cylinder, doesn't use much gas, it's cheap. And I took 150 all the way back from Knoxville, went through Brimfield, Rolling Hills. It was just...
That's because you're too busy eyeball cheating on it with every other car that comes by.
That's what Sarah said. She's like, you need to be grateful for what you have and just enjoy what you have.
Was she talking about her or the car?
I don't know, maybe both.
Because he was, right? He was out looking at another car with his car?
Yeah.
That's true.
You horrible person.
That's true. But you guys, anybody who's got more than one vehicle or passion or hobby or interest, when you're spending more time with one, it means you're kind of cheating on or neglecting something else. And it's hard to be all things to all people. But, my challenge for myself and for everybody next year, take a day and be like, you know what? I haven't driven this in a while. I'm going to take this to work for a week. Or I'm going to ride this bike. I need to run some errands this weekend. This is what I'm having out, and I'm going to run around on this motorcycle for the weekend or whatever. So, rotate your stock is what I'm saying. You definitely, you get to appreciate it more, and then you also know the next time you take it out, be like, yeah, it was making a little noise. Maybe I need to put some work into this car instead of just let it sit in a garage for another 6 months.
Can you imagine a world where people only have 1 or 2 cars, Daryl?
Right. The man or woman that needs to rotate their stock because you're neglecting your 7 other cars you're not driving on a daily basis.
You know what he is? He's like Sister Wives type thing going on there. You need to rotate your stock.
I guess.
That was another level.
Is that dark? Did I get dark?
Yeah.
No. It makes it sound more glamorous than... I'm not the Jay Leno. I don't have 400 cars, but...
You've got some nice stuff, though, and I'm really excited for the Caddy. I really am.
You have a fraction of Jay Leno's cars, but still a decent-sized fraction.
Yeah, but he has people who ride his and take his stuff out and rotate it and make sure it works.
True.
I'm just one guy.
He pays people to drive his cars.
Yeah.
Literally.
Now, the day I came over to your house, and I think that was the day you were getting the upholstery worked on at your buddy's, Sarah said, Daryl's learning how to weld.
She might have upsold that.
Okay, all right. Because I was excited for that.
No, I need to take a class.
And so
we've talked about that.
Drew and I talked about that too. ICC has night classes for welding.
But it's more, isn't it more like a certification or a licensure thing?
Oh, I don't know. We should talk to 48 about that because I think maybe 4 or 5 of us could go together. And
I'm serious.
Yeah, I'm down with it. I think it's a great life
If you guys
skill.
have the material, my buddy Adam is an excellent welder.
Is he
and
really?
Yes. He did work on my FJ40 tunnel on the one that I sold.
But is he an instructor? See, there's one thing about being awesome at it, and there's another about showing other people how to do it.
As long as you can explain what you're doing and how you're doing it, isn't that instruction?
Or does he throw things at you if you do it wrong?
No.
Okay. That's how I do. See, and I've been criticized. My lovely wife and other family members have said, "You're not a good teacher. You just get frustrated when other people don't know what you know, and you can't." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm. My dad was a teacher. I'm not."
At least you acknowledge it.
Yeah. So there's something to that. But would you guys be down if there was some sort of night class or something?
I mean, I'm committed. I probably should not overcommit myself, but next summer I'm down.
Okay.
Not like I wouldn't take an actual class.
I think I would.
But like if somebody had something going on, I would go. Because that's me.
Okay.
Every time a farm store goes out of business, I see a welder for sale for like $6.99. I'm like, yeah, I should get that. And I'll never use it.
All right.
And we have a welder sitting in the shop that nobody's using right now because my last welder went to Rivian. So I need somebody. It'd be hilarious if every time there was exhaust, they say, "Hey, Eric, can you go out there and weld an exhaust?" then I've totally I've gone complete.
So
reverse.
can you do the service department, do the social media, and do the welding?
You know,
That'd be great.
I remember at the Ford store when Green still owned it, up on Pioneer Park.
Yeah.
The service manager up there, he was like Roland Rich. He was out in the shop working on cars. He wore a technician uniform.
And then when somebody came, rang a bell,
he'd walk up there, and then of course as a customer, if you have a complaint, you're dealing. Now you got a guy who's like wiping his hands. It's almost like the typical stereotypical. Oh, this guy's gonna be hard to deal with because he's a technician.
Maybe that's a good thing.
I mean,
maybe you should. Maybe you should try that.
I should.
Anyways, that's all I'm working on. And Gabe, you're up to no good. I mean, a lot of things.
Oh, I'm always up to no good.
Yeah,
a lot of things.
Yeah, let's hear the whole skinny because apparently there's some rumors flying around. There was a transport vehicle.
All right. Okay, we're going to start with that. So I was a little late to the production tonight.
Yeah, I know.
I sent a picture of a 1962 Ford Vanette, and it's on a modern chassis with the GMC cab over underneath it.
Nice.
A gentleman, Steven, drove up 12 hours today from Alabama, pulling a U-Haul trailer with this thing. And it's gorgeous. It's patinaed. It has like Gordon chips on the side, and on the top in like spray paint outline, it says Flash for the Flash Gordon tie-in.
Is this like a service van type thing?
It was.
Like a uniform van or something?
It's got like the original 1960s wood in the back still. And apparently what happened was it was like a body. And these guys had worked on it a little down south, and they'd take it to car shows, and they'd camp out underneath it out back, and they'd put an umbrella out back, and they had a couch inside and all this stuff. But this guy uses it as a work truck. It's insane.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It definitely has the look of a weathered old delivery truck, but you could tell there's something different about it.
Oh my goodness! And my neighbor texts me instantly. He's like, "Did you get a new toy? What's going on at your house?" Which cracks me up. But no, I sold the BMW convertible today.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is it local?
No, it's going to Alabama.
Oh, did you do a trade?
No.
Oh, so your 325 went bye-bye.
The 325i is gone as of tomorrow morning. I have the money, so I mean, technically it's his right now. But
gotcha.
Yeah, it was too inconvenient to have to go over to my parents' house, even though it's like a 3-minute walk for people who don't know me through a field and around some houses.
So
but
much work.
I don't have room in my garage.
Daryl only wishes his storage units were so close.
I know. That was a beautiful car. It checked all the boxes of an 80s.
But you rode it for the season. You did it perfectly. You got rid of it in October.
I put 2 gas tanks in it, which is probably 200, maybe 300 miles on the thing total. We had a blast. Rachel was kind of disappointed I sold it. So that makes me feel good that I made a purchase that she actually
feel good that I disappointed her. Yeah.
Versus I bought something and she hated it and she was thrilled that I sold it.
Couldn't wait.
Right. Yeah. That'd be the opposite. So it's bittersweet, but you know what? He's going to love it down there in Alabama. He's going to drive it so much more than we can. There's no salt down there. And I really like this guy. He was a nice guy. I felt bad, super talkative, wanted to know everything about the car. And then that's why I was super late tonight, because he's a genuine good guy.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
So us blowing up your phone probably did you a favor.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we probably should have recorded at my house tonight. We would have been recording an hour earlier.
Yeah, we might have had a
we still record without you.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
Did you get,
so let's go back to this Vanette thing.
Yeah.
Did you buy the Vanette?
Oh, I wish. I told him, I said, when you go to sell it, message me, because it is amazing.
I thought there was an exchange of property.
No,
that happened. Okay,
I wish. No, he pulled up. He towed the U-Haul trailer. He's like, this thing can tow. This thing can do it.
So he drove that all the way up here?
No AC, no heat. He had the doors open when he rolled up on both sides, like
that is so wild.
A brown truck.
Like UPS.
Yeah, like a UPS. He just had the doors open and rolled up.
Was it like American Pickers showed up or something?
Almost. Better.
It's actually cooler.
Yeah.
So to transport that Beamer, did you have to back it onto a dolly?
He brought a U-Haul trailer with him. He hasn't loaded it up yet. We're going to do that in the morning.
Okay.
He's going to a hotel tonight. He drove up 12 hours today. So, Yeah, it was interesting. But I've sold a couple cars recently. Look at me. The Rabbit's gone. That's another thing in my thing. Rabbit's
gone. You never
gone.
even drove the car. Does that qualify?
I did. I drove around the block.
Okay. All right.
I had to nurse it.
Did you register it?
No.
Okay, well, there you go. You didn't own the car.
And neither did the previous guy. The title had mold on it. Literally, it had been sitting so long.
Yeah.
But
Gross.
no. And that's one thing. Sometimes, like, you like a project and you dive into it a little, and then you like that it's somebody else's project.
Yeah.
That's a nice change of pace.
It didn't bring your passion.
Because I couldn't drive it. And that's what I've realized, too, is like if I tear into a vehicle, it's going to sit. And that kind of segues into the 1927 Chrysler because we tore into that. We got it running last year. Daryl came over a couple times. We worked on stuff. We got the fuel system going. The brakes were never good, but we drove it with the e-brake, which was sketchy as can be.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah. And then this year I was like, I'm going to really take care of it. I'm going to dive in. And it was terrible. I ordered tires in May, and they said end of July.
Oh, yeah, the Coker thing. Is it Coker?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, through Coker Tire. And I just finally emailed them the other day because I'm like, hey, it's end of September. What's going on? And they're like, oh, yeah, those are pushed back to the end of December. I'm like, why wouldn't you tell me about a 6-month delay? And they're like, oh, we'll help you find something else. But the tires are way more expensive now, and we're going to honor your original price. So you're paying $111 a tire, and if you order them today, they're $250 a tire.
Ouch. That much of a difference.
So I'm locked in. Like, what can I do besides ride it out? So it's been up in blocks. I wanted to get it running this fall. It's not going to happen. It's very depressing. It's a garage stall, shattered dreams, but it is what it is.
Well, with some of the other stuff, you've freed up a little bit of space and money and resources. Maybe that's a good thing, and you can get the Chrysler running for next year. It's still one of the ultimate, rumble seat roadsters. It's a really cool, real pretty car.
Yeah, Steve came today and he gravitated to the Chrysler and he was asking about it and he was looking at it and touching the paint and I showed him the engine. So it is a neat car, and once it's going, I'm going to be happy. But this whole interim is hard. So, and the last thing was the BMW motorcycle with the sidecar. I finally got that thing running a couple months ago, like right after I was off the show for a bit, and the kids have had a blast. I can throw both kids in the sidecar. I paid the local shop to just put in the throttle cables and tune it up a little because I wasn't getting around to it. And in hindsight, I thought the throttle would snap back more, but it doesn't. So I probably could have done it, but I just didn't because I thought it would have that
Didn't
motorcycle.
trust your own feel on that.
Exactly. I don't have the years of experience to know that. So, but it's been a lot of fun. I'm still waiting on the title for it. So I'm just,
Jeez.
cruising in grace right now, or whatever you want to call it. But it's been good.
It'll happen. I'm glad to see that thing because I knew when we went and looked at that originally up in Rochelle, Illinois. Beautiful Rochelle.
That's when you two were doing the show and just buying cars willy-nilly.
Oh, we had a crazy 2 week. One day, Daryl and I did 3 months worth of stuff.
Yeah, actually, it was a lot of fun, and I'm surprised we're both still here. But no, the thing ran great. Mechanically, that thing sounded good. The motor, didn't smoke, didn't make any noise. I said, well, this is going to be a good runner. And it's only got, 10,000, 11,000 miles on it?
I don't know.
It's really low.
I have no idea.
I don't remember.
It's really low. So there's lots of life left in that thing, and I'm glad you're getting out. And did you have to put new tires on it?
I had to put a tube in the rear.
Okay.
And I put a battery in it, which I had to take the whole rear fender off to put in. But then I put on the new carbs, and then, like I said, I had them hook it up and tune it. But I took it to a motorcycle competition the other weekend.
That's
and
right.
I was the only non-Harley in the motorcycle competition in Tremont here.
Yeah, so you're in Tremont, Illinois.
Yeah, and I gave them a hard time. I was like, hey, I should get an award. Only non-Harley. And then they gave me one, and it was hilarious.
Nice.
And then a guy crashed his beautiful RX-7 Veilside Body Kit edition with an LS3 in it right in front of my eyes, like YouTube.
That's traumatic.
I literally, it's sad because I didn't care at all if the guy was okay. I was so sad for the car.
Yeah.
That's and the body kit and all that. That's like a Fast and Furious. Isn't that what Dom drove in that? Diesel's character.
I don't know if they had the body kits on it with it. Dom was American Muscle.
No, somebody had an
The RX-7 was the guy in Tokyo Drift.
You're not down with the...
No, I didn't. Actually, Tokyo Drift was probably the best of the Fast and Furious movies as far as I was concerned.
That's a weird statement, but I'll allow it.
Yeah, I like it.
I have not watched the second one. I've watched every other one.
I'm pretty sure the second one is the worst Fast and Furious they made.
Well, yeah, but that's...
I don't know. When they start driving on ice and they're jumping in submarines, that seems like we're
so believable.
Yeah, and then when the car's spiraling over a bridge and he jumps out the perfect time and lands on the other car...
You question the physics on that?
Yeah, I did. I'm sorry. I mean, I can believe a lot for movies, but then it becomes laughable.
Yeah, Eric doesn't like the physics. He's out.
Did anybody ever say, I expected more from this Vin Diesel movie? Yeah. Anybody ever say that
I did.
phrase?
Apparently I did. I'd like my money back, please. I paid $7.50 for a ticket, and this movie sucks.
Get in line, buddy.
Yeah, the line's over there. He's cutting.
Gabe, it sounds like you've had a productive fall, and I'm glad you were able to make lemons out of lemonade. I don't know what that means.
I don't know. Did he have lemonade? Because it seemed to me like,
No, just the...
Why would he make lemons? That doesn't even make sense.
Well, the rabbit was something that he bought, and he was trying to get...
Sounds like he made lemonade out of some lemons.
So I got sold on the rabbit. Yeah, I'm gonna ignore these guys.
Thank you.
I got sold on the rabbit the same way the buyer got sold on it. It's such a good deal. Like you guys talked about it in another show. Eric's like, I should buy that and tuck it away. Like
he was all about it.
It's a good price. I paid $1,500 for like a mostly rust-free 1983 Volkswagen Rabbit Cabriolet. Yeah. Like what? You can't argue with that.
Automatic though, right?
No. 5-speed.
Oh my God, even more reason.
I know.
With the golf ball shifter.
Well, and that was the GTI one they'd put on with the GTI steering wheel, which weren't, and it had a couple other custom things, but like, end of the day, the car didn't run. And do you have the time to store it or the money to pay somebody else to figure it out, or do you want to figure it out? Yeah. And I worked on that thing 10, 20 times, tinkering with this and that, adjusting things, replacing like a relay or a fuel filter, and it never came up for me. And so I sold it to another guy who's like, oh, that's just too good of a deal to pass up. He didn't need it, just like I didn't. But he paid $2,000, and I got my money out of it that I put into it with the batteries and things like that. Good day.
That's good. Call it a day. That's the same when I sold my 58 Plymouth. Sure, if I had unlimited time, unlimited funds, and I really just, that was the car I wanted to spend my time with, great. And after 2 years, I'm like, no, it's not it. It's not happening. Send it down the line. Someone else can have it. And I'd be surprised if I find that thing runs and drives anytime soon.
It's funny because the Rabbit is parked on North Main and Morton, like next to Colette's, because he knows the guy that owns the parking lot. And I drive by it all the time, and I just point it out, and it hasn't moved.
That's funny. Maybe I can still pick it up.
Maybe it's you see it for sale.
Hey,
sign
I know the guy.
No, I don't need it. I need it like I need another hole in my head, and I've certainly tried to drill as many as I can in there. It seems like just like all of us here have. All right, ready to move on to the news segment?
Yeah, I think it's time for some news.
It's time for the news. All right, coming first in international news. This is from the Detroit Bureau. This is the Throwin Wrenches Bureau, I think, Daryl.
It is.
It's hard to believe it's been 2 decades since the Mini washed up on American shores once again. To celebrate, the Mini has released a 2023 Mini Edition. It's a 20-year edition. The 2023 Mini S hardtop 4-door is now appearing in U.S. dealers with a manufacturer's suggested retail price of $37,185.
For half a car.
Well,
just a little bit.
I think they have grown a little bit. So, I mean, you could justify a little bit of that. Including destination handling. It's offered in 3 colors used for both the American and the British flags. A chili red and a pepper white. Was that chili red?
It's red, white, and blue.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Chili red, pepper white, and island blue. Why can't we just say red, white, and blue?
Seriously.
People? Sorry.
That's
fancy.
dumb.
Yeah. That's our Bureau people. And with a silver roof and mirror caps, the driver's side of the hood wears an offset stripe in red, white, and blue. So there were a million international articles I could have picked up.
Yeah.
But this one,
chose that
I think the reason I picked this one up, were you a fan of the rooftop flag on the Minis when they came out?
No. And even the old ones, when somebody shows up at a British car show with one.
You don't like it?
No, I think it's just passé. It's played out.
I've just been watching the Austin Powers third movie over the last 3 days.
Yes.
Ms. Kensington.
And it's great. The Mini, and that's great.
Yeah.
The British Union Jack on the top and everything. Yeah. Oh, come on. I mean, that's how the car was meant to be enjoyed.
Well, and so when the car first showed up in the United States 20 years ago, I mean, it was a little bit iconic. I'm like, look, you got a Mini and you got the flag. It's kind of cool. And Austin Powers, I think maybe that movie was just out at the same time, which seems crazy that that's only 20 years ago that Austin Powers.
That'd be the third one, but yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But realistically,
the first one, he had a Jaguar E-Type, and I'm like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
But then he sold his soul. Bought a Mini.
But what's funny when you think about it, I don't know that they've really done that over the last 20 years. I mean, I think on those first editions that came out, you saw it quite a bit, and maybe some guys had thrown some decals on their cars.
Yeah.
So, I mean, was it time to come back? I mean, I think it was kind of cool. It was retro, maybe.
It's a little throwback. It's a throwback to the
Daryl's rolling his eyes. Daryl has he's complete
I don't
disdain.
like retro.
I just don't think the Mini's been cool for a long time.
No, I'm original. I'd rather have a real Mini Cooper as opposed to like the reboot. It's like the newer Beetles. Are they cute?
That's not. Oh, Beatles. I thought you meant like a reincarnation of like John Paul, George.
No, like a Beatles cover band.
Yeah, exactly.
American English.
It's a love show. It's at Vegas. It's just like the Beatles.
Yeah,
but it's not the Beatles.
But they're not the Beatles. No, I think it's cool. They're fun little toss around cars. I know. I've got some friends that have had the Cooper S's with the little supercharger, and they're fun. But they're really not a British car anymore. They're a BMW. Mm-hmm. They're all made by BMW. The price of maintenance and stuff like that is very, very German. It's an expensive little car to maintain. I don't know.
Do you know anybody who's had a warranty claim and had to take it to Chicago?
No.
That's kind of the fun thing, because if you buy one, I had a friend of mine who bought one in Chicago, had a warranty claim, and Lehman's in Peoria is a BMW store.
Uh-huh.
They don't have to honor the warranty for the Minis. They say, no, you got to take it to Mini of Chicago or whatever.
So for service, they could probably do service, but they don't want to do the...
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they can. I think for a true warranty claim, they may not be allowed to, since they're not a Mini dealer.
Like an authorized dealer.
Yes, yeah.
See, I feel the same way about like Alfa Romeos or some of the cars that, Maseratis that you see around here. And like, oh, that's cool. Where do you even... Mm-hmm. You have to go to a big city to get any kind of service on those.
A guy I know in Peoria who had done some rallies with me in Champaign and stuff like that, he bought a Lucid.
Ooh.
Beautiful car.
Aren't those like $200K?
I think 100.
It's just 100.
Just
well, the guy
hasn't changed.
Believe me, the Porsches he bought were all about 100,000. So I think it's in that.
Okay.
I don't know, 100,000 for a 4-door car. It's just, I don't know. It's a nice car. It's cool, but you brought yourself out into the wasteland of Central Illinois with this cool car, and now as soon as it breaks down or has a problem or there's a glitch.
It's on a flatbed for 4 hours.
Maybe. Minimum. I don't know. Does somebody come down from Chicago and plug into it? I mean, what happens? I don't know.
You know what's hilarious is I didn't remember until this conversation that I put down a deposit on a Myers-Manx 2.0.
I've been telling people that story.
What?
The electric dune buggy.
Was it $1,000 or $500? How much was it?
It was $500. I did it like a month or two ago, and I just remembered.
You're serious?
Yeah.
Did they even announce the sticker price?
No. Yeah. I don't know how much it's going to cost or when.
Well, you can always sell that, can't you?
Or just refund it, yeah. But like, you're talking about like, oh, where are you going to service it? I'm like, oh, shit.
No,
this car's like out of California. What am I doing?
No, that's a third stall car anyway. I mean, Myers-Manx you don't buy as you.
Well, it's not street legal.
It's not at all?
No.
Oh, I thought it was.
Mm-mm.
Oh, so you couldn't even drive it in Morton to the Dairy Queen?
In Morton you might be able to.
Yeah. All right.
He will.
Let's be careful. You're running for office. Let's not say anything too sketchy here.
No, it's fun, though. But, it's something to think about. If you buy something unique like that, you're going to have to, at some point, it's got to go to a dealership.
Yeah. And if you paint the roof with a Union Jack, Daryl will hate you forever.
Such a terrible person.
Oh, Daryl, Lordstown, they are back.
They're back, baby.
I don't know about that. This is, according to Clean Technica, this is on our national news. Lordstown Motors somehow is not dead. They build 2 trucks. That is literally the headline. While Tesla posted news about delivering more than 300,000 vehicles last quarter, some underappreciated scribe was tolling away at a press release announcing that Lordstown had indeed begun producing its hub-motored power electric truck. The Lordstown is pleased to announce in our first commercial release production, the Endurance vehicle have rolled off the production line at Foxconn EV Ohio plant. Read a press release statement, adding that the third is expected to be completed shortly.
We didn't just make 2. We're going to make 3.
We got the third
One's
one
on
coming.
the way.
I mean, scratch-built, hand-built. I mean, that's some artisan stuff, right?
Second coat's going on now, Mr. McFly.
Hand stitching?
Yeah. Yes. We will continue to build at a slow rate. As we address the remaining part pedigree and availability issues, we expect to increase the speed of production into November and December, said Edward Hightower, Lordstown CEO and president. Yeah, that's great news. I know you were big.
Is it?
Because Daryl is a fan of the Lordstown factory. I want to make sure that this factory is up and running and making things, right?
Do you like the factory or the cars?
I think he likes the factory more than anything that's ever come out.
I like the factory. It's a former GM factory.
So you could care less about Lordstown or the cars. You just want the factory to do it.
The people there are pretty cool.
He's a fan of Ohio.
Right.
I am.
He's a fan of the people who pull their lives up by the bootstrap. I mean,
yeah, Lordstown's just outside of Youngstown, which is outside of some other town.
Oldstown.
And I saw Eddie Money performing at a Sears parking lot at a mall in Youngstown, Ohio in 2000.
Classy.
And won.
Didn't he do some commercials right before he died? What was the? It was
like Geico or Progressive or something. He was like shaking. He was singing some of his songs.
No,
or Two Tickets to Paradise.
2 Tickets to Paradise.
That's what it
I
was.
thought it was Allegiant. Who knows?
No, I think it was car insurance. But it was when car insurance commercials started getting funny.
Yeah.
Everyone had to have like a funny little bit.
Yeah.
And they brought Eddie Money on. I'm like, what in the heck is he doing on there?
Was Flo in there? I think Flo was involved.
Probably.
Yeah.
Flo's.
Please no.
Yeah.
By the way, that's like a 25-year ad campaign that needs to just go down the river.
Talk about a career that should have never happened.
Exactly.
Like, she just got this spokeswomanship.
All right, we've talked about this on several shows.
All right.
She's terrible.
Yeah.
She's terrible.
Yeah.
She's the worst.
When we do our third podcast someday, the case against Flo will probably be in there, right?
She'll be in there.
Yeah.
As well as Charo and
Steve Martin
and the
Martin Short.
Who's the? No, I like Martin Short. Okay. Steve Martin is he's done. And then also who's the flex tape guy?
The flex tape.
The guy who makes the storm door and coats it with flex tape, a flex seal.
How can you hate a commercial presenter?
Because he runs too many infomercials.
That's a British term.
He has no career outside that commercial. I mean, Steve Martin
Billy
has
Mays.
Right. Same kind of deal.
Okay, but Steve Martin has a career of things you can hate. The guy who's taping a screen door is just one commercial.
Do you ever look at somebody and just know that they're a terrible human being?
This is Step Brothers. I don't know what it is about your face.
Yeah,
but
I want to change it.
But I want to punch
you in the face.
I want to punch you in the face.
So I had a sales manager. This is going way off the script, folks. This is outside the news, just so you know. I'm just going to let everybody know. So years ago, when I was a salesman, my sales manager, he was doing some Saturday morning speak. We're talking and everything. He's like, hey, it would be great for the team. Sometimes you'll just walk out and you'll talk to someone in the lot. You'll just go face to face with them, and you'll know within seconds whether or not you're going to have a meaningful conversation, if you are going to gel. What you should do is, if you decide that you can't work with this person, it's not going to work out, you should walk back inside and grab another salesman. Well, no salesman is ever going to give up a chance at a car sale.
No.
But it's true. I mean, there's many times you just literally handshake, how you doing today? We are not going to work out. I can already tell.
It's like a date. It's like when you were dating back in the day, everybody's had a date with someone right off the gate. You're just like, this is not it. And they might be a perfectly normal, lovely person, but you're like, I ain't feeling this.
Yeah.
And that's very primal. I don't understand why we need to pretend that isn't a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So whether it's sales, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a work dynamic, whether it's an interview, a job interview. You guys, we've all been on job interviews before where you're like, I would not be happy here.
I argued with a guy in a job interview once.
How?
Literally.
As a candidate or?
As a young attorney. And he was trying to hire me in Peoria, and he's like, this is the kind of attorney I think you are, and this and that. And I'm like, you don't even know me. And I literally argued with him, and it was amazing, and I'm so glad I didn't get that job.
Is this attorney still in business?
Yeah.
Still
prominent divorce lawyer in Peoria. And I knew people that worked for him after, and they were all like, good on you for not getting that job.
Yeah, you did the right thing.
Does Rachel like your convictions? Or is she upset that you didn't take that job?
Oh, no, she didn't want me to work there.
Right.
I did fine back then. Nowadays,
All right.
So two vehicles from Lordstown, that counts,
hey,
right?
the third's on the way.
Strong work, Lordstown. I knew things were going good there. I think that's why I made a bunch of memes on them 6 months ago.
A+.
Yeah, I was on top of that.
Okay, so here's another article from the National News subheading. Used cars have become unaffordable. This is from Chris Isidore from CNN Business. High prices and rising interest rates are putting used cars out of reach for a growing number of car shoppers. That's bad news for CarMax. That's the nation's largest used car dealer. CarMax is reporting that its earnings plunged 54%. That's right, 54%. As the number of cars it sold in the quarter fell 6.4% compared to 1 year ago.
So make like a balloon popping noise, like psst.
Yeah, the company blamed vehicle affordability challenges. That's actually a really fancy way of saying people can't buy stuff because they ain't got money.
Yeah.
Affordability challenges stemming from widespread inflationary pressures.
Pleasure, definitely no pleasure in the pressure. Yeah.
Inflationary pressures, wow. As well as climbing interest rates and low consumer confidence. Although higher prices lifted the company's overall revenue, results were well below forecasts from analysts surveyed by Refinitiv.
A think tank that works on these things.
Refinitiv
sort of. People, they're well known.
Car prices, of course, climbing steadily in the last 2 years as a shortage of parts, particularly computer chips, limited supplies in the face of strong consumer demand. Let me ask you this, though.
What's that?
Have you noticed used cars are basically becoming unaffordable for many because of inflation, interest rates, things like that. Are you starting to see used car prices start to fall a little bit?
I think that's kind of, everything's kind of dropping. And this is happening in real estate, too. A friend of mine's a realtor. Once interest rate, literally we're talking about, 1-2% interest rates on cars here for the last year or two. Hell, it's been the last 10 years. We've had like 0% APR floating around on stuff.
It's been nice.
Yeah.
It's been nice.
So now all of a sudden that car payment that was, at 0% was $350. And that number is even ridiculous now because the new car payment is probably $750 a month.
People are like, I want to get it under $350 a month.
Good luck.
Go back, get a time machine, go back to 1998.
What are you buying for $15,000, right?
Nothing.
Yeah. But no, you're paying $750 a month. And now if we take an interest rate that was maybe 2 or 3%, because I remember SEFQ even on like a shady questionable used car was like 3.75.
Yeah.
Now we're hitting people at 7 and 8%. Holy smokes, man! That changes everything. So ultimately, just like a house, if you can't sell it, now the price has to come down to compensate for the interest rate because nobody's paying cash, right? So rates are definitely going to have an effect on that. Well, does that raise the inventory levels? Does that level that off? Did it help stop inflation? I don't know. I wouldn't argue that. But same thing with housing. Did it slow down the housing market? It has.
A little bit.
Yeah. So it'd be interesting to see what they do from here. And I read an article today that the EU is telling the United States to stop raising interest rates because it's having an effect across the world.
There's something to be said for that.
Yeah.
Anybody who works in home mortgage, finance, real estate, any kind of lending. Yeah, it's become an issue where things have slowed down dramatically. That being said, people are always going to need to purchase things. If your time is up, the family truckster blows up, you're still going to need to buy a new vehicle.
It's a terrible time. I mean, if you're lucky, you can find a car out there that fits the need. But a lot of times you're just kind of getting whatever is available, right?
Whatever they have. Yeah, exactly.
I had a guy walk up to me today at that ICC Power Day, one of the instructors. He goes, "Hey, when do they get to the point where I can order the car I want? I'm trying to order this certain." I'm like, it's not going to happen. He goes, well, it's kind of got to be hurting business that people can't pick out what they want. I'm like, it's not.
People don't care.
I said, 7 cars showed up on transport the other day. Guess what? Those 7 cars were gone within 4 to 8 hours because the salesman called all the customers and said the cars are here.
Yeah, it's not 1972 anymore. Yeah. You can't go in and just cherry pick the options, the color, all the things that you want.
No,
which is unfortunate because if you look back now, if you were to find. I looked at a guy's 70 Mustang with it was a base model Mustang, 2-door notchback, not even a fastback. It wasn't a Mach 1, it wasn't a Boss, but it was a 428 Super Cobra Jet motor, C6 automatic, and some other oddball options, and it was like a 1 of 1. And I'm like, this is cool, and it's worth a fair amount of money. But it's worth that because somebody went into a dealership and said, I want a green this, check all the boxes.
Yeah.
You haven't been able to do that for probably 30 years, and you're never going to be able to do that in the future. As much as you kind of get some of the personalization options, I look at like some of the Rivian options, and I'm like, oh, the color with this interior, like that would be cool. That'd be kind of cool. It's like you can't really do what you want to do.
No, it pretty much everything's happening now. It's just whatever parts are available. So they're going to load them up with everything because they want to have the highest profit potential in a car. Because let's face it, if we can only sell 1 car for what we should have sold 5 of last year, We're gonna load up with everything,
Yeah.
and that's not even dealer's choice. That's just the manufacturer just throwing extra. They're unloading the bins on these cars, just to make them as valuable as possible.
And meanwhile, I'd be there for the end of the year where they get here's one with a rubber floor mat and roll up windows.
They call that a Dodge.
Right? Here's a Ram.
No, but part of it too, I think, is that they're going to get more expensive next year. Like, it's a good deal to buy any car or anything right now because prices are just going up. The couch I bought like 4 years ago cost $400 more today. It was like a $1,000 couch. Now it's like a $1,400 couch. It's ridiculous.
That's the thing too. I hate to sound like an alarmist because it makes people stockpile. It makes people, hoard things. Things are not going to get cheaper. No. I'm sorry. Even if you're buying bottom end kind of entry level stuff, it doesn't matter if it's a TV, a computer, a couch, or a Tacoma. It's not going to get cheaper.
No.
And if you wait for it, whatever. But I don't know.
I think you and I talked offline before. I think let's just say a year from now, their inventory actually starts showing up on lots, and it's not selling. That word rebate is going to come back.
The old chestnut, the old rebate.
Yeah, we haven't talked rebates in years.
Maybe for like Fiat. No, if they come back for Toyota.
But seriously, think about it. When was the last time there was a rebate on Tacomas? So if the new Tacoma, the new Tundra comes out, and the new Tundra, I mean, heck, they're $70,000 for some of these high end ones. Yeah. If a year from now there's a bunch of them sitting in the Chicago region, guess what? Rebates. And it wasn't that long ago, that we talked about that. Toyota never did, but GM and all those other guys had rebates on everything.
GM had we went looking for trucks before we settled on the Tundra. We test drove a Z71 Silverado crew cab with a 5.3 and lots of nice options with a $15,000 rebate. And it was to the point where I walked in there and it was like a $58,000 truck, and at the end it was like, this is affordable.
That's comical today. Comical.
It is.
Well, give it a year. Just see what happens. Because if the economy slightly slows down and we've overpriced everything because of inflation, rebates will come back.
But you're still going to be, interest rate are you paying?
And there's another reason why you have to have rebates, because the interest rates are going to make it unaffordable. The manufacturers know this. They're the ones holding the cards for the finance. Every manufacturer has its own financial arm. Mm-hmm. So we can either cut ourselves short on the rebate, on the selling of the vehicle, or we can cut ourselves short on the interest rate.
Either way, you're going to be moving product.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to. So, Gabe, when are you buying your new Capstone Tundra?
I don't want that.
What?
I've only ever bought one new car in my life. It was a Supra, and I miss it. And
I tell that story all the time.
That would be the next one that I buy again. Is I want another Supra.
That kid who called you and said, "Hey, you want to buy it back?"
Yeah. He bought it and he had it for like 3 months. He's like, "Oh, we're having a baby." It's like, are you kidding me? You bought a 2-year-old used Supra.
Yeah.
It instantly had a baby.
Yeah.
Good on you, bud.
Do you know where the car's at right now?
No.
Because you've been tracking it.
No, I haven't. After that guy left it, I lost it.
You have an AirPod on GPS?
I can't say that I legally put a tracker on it, so I won't.
Fine. But maybe that's why he is expecting a baby. He bought a Supra.
Dude, that thing will get it done. Let me tell you. If you need to have a baby, folks, you go buy a new Supra. You're going to have babies coming out the wazoo.
There you go.
Hello, ladies.
That's great. That's good to know. I'm sure Jan can use that in the Toyota commercials.
I'm sure. Family friendly ad campaign.
Exactly. Do you want to take this next article here, Gabe?
I don't even know what we're
I know you kind of stepped away there. Ford Motor Company?
National news.
Ford Motor Company has delayed deliveries of certain vehicles because it didn't have the blue oval badges that go on them. Oh, my God.
That seems like a faux pas.
Another example of how supply chain challenges have hit automakers. The car company has run into supply constraints with the brand name badges and the nameplates that specify the model. According to people familiar with the matter, both parts are affixed to the vehicle's exterior and important identifiers in the automaker's products. Company spokesman said that confirmed that it had some vehicle shipments because of a lack. It held some vehicle shipments because of a lack of badges. So they're missing like a $3 badge,
seriously,
and they're not shipping out a vehicle.
You got a whole car built, and you have no. I mean, on the Toyota, the front end badge has the sonar and the other controls in it.
Oh yeah.
But you would think that if you just had a basic badge like you're talking about, dude, just go on eBay. There's some guys or Alibaba. Just get a bunch sent.
You have badges with controls in them?
No, they have the electronics now for the Laser Cruise. So if it used to be I got one of those right there, the old chrome style.
Yeah.
They don't make them that way anymore. They're like, they got a film behind them, and they're like all solid plastic piece, and it's got all your controls for the laser cruise and the brake assist.
Nothing is cheap anymore. You can't replace a new badge for $3 anymore, from what you're saying.
No, not on the Toyota hood ornament, that's for sure. Yeah.
My wife's phone screen broke recently, and they have the fingerprint reader in the screen now.
Yeah.
What?
So instead of being like a $50, $75 fix, it's like $200.
Yeah.
Like, why are they doing this? This is stuff that breaks or falls off.
Whoa. We're the old men at the table, not you.
Yeah. Where did you?
I don't like modern technology.
In my day.
Hey, wait till we get grinding of gears.
Yeah.
Coming out. I'm coming out.
He's crotchety already.
Oh God! And let's see here. We've got a little long here. Let's just go one other thing here. New York State plans to adopt California's rules approved in August that would require all new vehicles sold in the state by the year 2035 to be electric or a plug-in hybrid. Governor Kathy Hochul said on Thursday. Hochul said in a statement that she has directed the state environmental agency proposed to finalize the rules adopting California's plan, setting yearly rising emission rules starting in 2026 to phase out gas-only vehicles by 2035. That's from Reuters. I actually, in my mind, going from all emission stuff is always California, Massachusetts, right? I mean, that was always the way. But New York is right there. I'm always surprised as Illinois residents that we get away with murder downstate like we do. I'm just waiting for the hammer to fall on us in Illinois.
There was talk about that years ago, but it died a slow, painful death.
I will fight against that.
Thank God. Yeah.
Good.
But
Fight the good fight. New York has a lot of other things it needs to clean up before it needs to focus on tailpipe emissions. I just throw that out there. But no, at the same time, do you see other states doing this? Across 2035, 2030, that's kind of...
Washington, Oregon, I could see the whole West Coast falling in line. I could see Connecticut and Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Vermont.
Washington.
I could see it.
But what is this at this point besides a deadline a decade down the road that we can just push or change? What is it?
Well, I think it falls in line. So California is really the driver of all this because they're one of the world's largest economies. So obviously nobody gives a squirt about what's going on in Massachusetts or Vermont or whatever. So, but if California is driving this, they just adopt those policies. And you're right. If it ends up getting pushed back, if California pushes it back, those others will probably fall in suit. But realistically, they're just mirroring those laws because they admire whatever California's doing or they want to be lockstep. It's obviously political. But
it gives politicians there too something to say, like I've passed legislation to clean emissions or go to a zero emission vehicle.
And it's not
mandate.
precedent setting; it's already been done, so they're just following somebody else's footsteps.
Yeah, but they're just setting something that won't necessarily happen. So maybe it's a feather in the cap, and maybe it's a goal or something they want to push towards. But realistically, on the day to day. We'll see if it happens, right?
With all the European stuff, too, all the automakers pushing towards that 2035-ish goal, let's just say, EVs being a foregone conclusion by that time anyways, they really don't have to do anything differently. The market's going to bear people are going to start buying more and more EVs just because. So they don't have to, it doesn't have to be a target that they hit. It's just naturally things are going to, it's the natural progression of things. It's kind of like saying, like, I passed legislation to make wireless phone devices a thing or something. But, like, people are going, I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm not explaining
I said
right.
everybody should get on the internet, and then it happened. I'm the best. Yeah, that's what Daryl's saying.
Thank you. Thank you for being
It is a natural course of what's going to happen, and they're just hoping to jump on the train early and also say, I supported the environment with EVs.
Yeah. Or like Al Gore said, I invented the internet.
I think he said it just like that.
He did.
Can you actually prove he didn't?
As Tipper said, don't listen to that record.
That's right.
All right, is it time?
Are we doing local or no?
Nah, I don't think so.
Carvana, by the way, Carvana's still in trouble in Illinois. Carvana,
they'll get out of it. It's lawyers. That's
you
fine.
think so?
Yeah.
I thought they yanked Carvana's license here.
Yeah.
They did. They lost their privilege.
They probably want money, and then they'll get right back in it. Come on.
So they'll make some sort of...
Are you kidding?
arrangement.
If it makes dollars, it makes sense, Daryl.
As long as I can buy a car in a vending machine, I don't care.
First off,
G4.
Elmer Garza is the Illinois Secretary of State Police Director. Elmer Garza, those two names can't even work together, can they?
Like one is a cartoon and one is a tough guy?
Yeah, well, I don't know. But he said the department's received more than 100 complaints from customers who reported Carvana failing to transfer their titles. That's what this all boils down to.
Oh, so that's like the Peoria case I had where the guy was selling cars and then not transferring the title, and then he could just pull it back and resell it when they didn't make a payment. Good for Carvana.
Sounds a little shady.
Make lots of money.
By the way, I like saying it like Gabe.
Carvana? I like Carvana too.
Like Vanna White.
Yeah. You got any more of them Toyotas down there? Yeah.
I like Italian food at Olive Garden.
I'm just a little more southern, you guys.
No, it's great. Speaking of things going south, is it about that time, Eric?
It's time for your moment of Musk.
All right, is the deal back on? Elon Musk is getting closer to buying Twitter. This is from the AP. There's a whole bunch of people who wrote this article on October 4th. The tumultuous saga of Elon Musk's on-again, off-again relationship to buy Twitter took a turn on Thursday when the CEO posted he's going to buy the company for the original agreed price of $44 billion. He made a surprising turnaround, not on Twitter, but it has been his custom, but in a letter to Twitter to the company disclosing in a filing the U.S. Securities, blah, 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 who gives a crap about that. In response, Twitter said it intends to close at a transaction price of $54.2 after receiving the letter, but the company stopped short of saying it's dropping its lawsuit against the billionaire, Tesla CEO. We don't think Twitter will give up its right to the trial date on Musk's word. It's going to need more certainty about the closing, said Andrew Jennings from the Brooklyn School of Law. Trading in Twitter stock, which has been halted for much of Thursday pending the release of the news, resumed trading on Tuesday and soared 22% to $52. Yeah. Who bought Twitter stock? Any of you?
No.
No. That's your moment of Musk.
That was your moment of Musk. I'm like a mascot at this point.
You can give me that file, and I'm going to just edit.
Just take it out.
It'll be my turn.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, to edit the show. All right, so we're going to hop right into, you alluded to this earlier, Gabe. You have a grinding of the gears.
Why am I the only one that's grinding? You guys are old, you're cranky.
No, man. I'm so happy-go-lucky.
Yeah.
I mean, I generally find the best in human beings, Gabe. That's my
And insert Jimmy Fallon break. No. I had a couple things this week, and I don't know if I've talked about this before, but the modern cars with the touch screens and I get in my car and the music starts playing. And guess what happens? It's beeping. I got to put my seatbelt on. I got to put it in gear, and I got to do this and that. And I cannot change the radio station. And you know what? I have different tastes than my wife. And maybe I'm listening to a station that a radio song comes on I don't like. Maybe Cardi B is just blaring in my ears, and I don't want that.
That's Eric's preset, by the way.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you know
got a Cardi B playlist.
You literally cannot click the button. It does not work.
You can't advance it?
No, because it's all touchscreen based, and it's all delayed. So you get in your car, and you have no control.
Sounds like a Rivian problem.
And no, it's our Land Cruiser. It's anything with the touchscreen.
Yeah, no, I'll get you that. For when you first sync it up, right?
When you first turn it on. I want a button and a knob. I get my 2008 FJ Cruiser, and if I don't like the song that's playing, I can instantly click a button while I'm putting on my seatbelt, while I'm putting it in reverse.
I just fist bumped because this. Yeah, I'm with you.
Is this like Paul Hollywood doing the handshake?
I mean, no, who does? Howie Mandel does a fist bump.
I guess, British Baking Show. Do you ever watch that?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
This is like the third reference to the Great British Baking
I do.
There's a new season going on.
But only if it's a good bake. And he shakes their hand. Like a weirdo. He doesn't talk like that?
No, he doesn't talk like that. He talks like the American guy on the show.
By the way, I'm sorry. We're taking away from Gabe's angst.
No,
we'll
that's
come
good.
Back
Dial
to
it
Paul
down.
Hollywood.
No, it's fine. I like the fact that he's crotchety old man. Go for it.
Yeah, so I would just say bring back some more switches and dials for the crucial stuff, like the radio station.
I agree.
And I'm more like Daryl now, so we're all better.
Thank you.
And then my other thing was I went to the DMV in Springfield today. Have you guys ever done an expedited title?
No.
No, but I did a whole title mayhem thing when I got that black Celica last year.
Did you know
sucked.
you can do same-day title in Illinois?
What?
Do you have to go to the big office?
How many $1 million does this cost?
It costs $30 on top of your registration. You can go to the DMV in Springfield or any other DMV and order it. And if you get it in before noon, it'll be ready for pickup the same day in Springfield at 3 o'clock.
But I have to be in Springfield. I can't do it in Pekin.
You could do it in Pekin, then drive there.
Oh.
Are you serious?
Yes. So I tried to do this today because I was selling the BMW. And the guy's driving up from Alabama, and I'm like, I will get you this title. I can do this. Like, it's on the table. But I didn't want to drive into Peoria and then have to drive all the way down to Springfield to do it and then wait for the title.
Okay.
So I drove down to Springfield, and guess what? The DMV down there is a massive, gorgeous building, an old state building. You know, it's 100 foot tall, and it's only like 2-story. Beautifully ornate.
Is it the Madigan building?
No, it's like the Howlett building next to the museum, but it's like right in the square, right by the Capitol. Mm-hmm. It is literally gorgeous.
Okay.
The Jesse White dancers out front?
No.
Okay.
But you know what? They have security in the building, probably counterterrorism, I guess, because like why else would you have security in like a driver's facility building? And they only have one entrance open. So you have to park on the street, then you have to walk all the way around the building to the entrance. Once you get in, you have to go through the maze of tunnels in the building all the way.
He really does sound like an old man right now.
He does. It sounds like maybe they watched the Blues Brothers and they went by like careening through the front door to like pay for a title at the last second to make sure they kept their registration.
It took me like 7 to 10 minutes just to park and walk in to where I needed to be. No joke. Like no lines. Straight in security.
And you walk pretty fast.
Yeah. No, I've got the range walk. Yeah.
So once you get in there, though, you're just doing a regular title transfer. How do you say? Do you say, I want the expedited version?
Yeah. You got to like slip them the 20 under your palm.
It is Illinois. No, but how do you request it?
Because I just requested an expedited title. But then I get in there and I forgot my checkbook. So I had to go to Western Union. To leave.
The worst.
And they have an exit.
Western Union?
Yeah. They have an exit right next to where you get the title.
Work? You do it through your phone? And
no, you give them money. They give you a cash.
So you had cash.
Money order. Yeah.
You had no.
They wouldn't take cash.
Wow. No, they won't. It's got to be a check or
money order.
Can you go to Walmart, their Woodlawn Bank or whatever that thing is called?
Probably.
Wood Forest or Wood. Yeah. Crap.
But it was only $100 tax. Like I had the money, and they wouldn't take $100. So literally, I waited in line. I looked at the signs. I'm like, I gotta go, and I missed the noon deadline, and I didn't get this guy the title today. No. So I'm gonna have to drive back down to Springfield tomorrow, pick up the title I ordered, and then mail it out to him overnight.
Seriously.
All because the building is laid out so wonky. You got to walk all the way around. I had to go get the money order. It's ridiculous. But
what kind of business doesn't take cash?
It's not a business. It's the government.
Yeah, I know. But they have the. You can do the convenience fee if you do everything online.
Yeah.
You can do the card and do the convenience fee and all that stuff.
No, they won't.
It is stupid. You're right. You are 100% right.
Modern human beings don't carry checks around anymore.
No, but there's some stupid rationale for it. And I don't know.
Illegal
is it
transaction.
That state employees steal?
No, because it's the same thing when you pay your sales tax on a purchase. I can't walk in and be like, here's $25 for my sales tax payable to the Illinois Department of Revenue. They won't take it.
Why?
Apparently, American currency is not valuable.
It's not legal tender?
Yeah. Not with the Illinois government. No,
but
they don't want your money.
You can actually go and do like your sticker renewals and things like that on a card. It used to only be certain cards. Mm-hmm. They wouldn't take Visa, but they would take They
would take everything but Discover.
It's like the early days of Sam's Club, where they wouldn't take. They only took Discover.
I remember that.
Like you sons of No, but there's some weird rationale.
Costco was the same way when they first.
They still only take Visa.
Costco?
Yeah.
Okay.
They take MasterCard too. They won't take. There's one they won't take though.
You watch your language.
No, because I have a MasterCard and I buy stuff there. But no, that sucks. I did learn though. Out of all of your angry old man mates, and there's a lot of them, Mr. Metamucil, I didn't know that there was an expedited title option. That's fantastic.
It's actually really cool.
Because I waited for our 55 Cadillac. I waited 4 or 5 months. I actually had to hound them and open up a case.
But that had title issues, right?
Yeah.
Because they had to get all the Sprite off the title for Grandma Sprite.
So gross. Yeah, there was some issues there. There was a typo in the VIN, but yeah. Anyways, good to know, and good to know that our state is hard at work, doing good things.
I mean, this is the type of stuff I always said. Like, there was some senator somewhere in the country that finally got robocalls for extended warranties done. It's over.
In their state.
No, they shut
because they got some probably, and so they said now it's a priority.
I don't know what they did, but they tracked down. There was one company. It was in the Bahamas, and they said free range to just hit every phone in the United States, and they went after that. And I said because of something like that, That's a person I would nominate to be president of the United States because they actually did something for the common good of everybody.
They get stuff done.
And I'm telling you, if there was a state official who said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make it so you can walk in the DMV and you can do whatever you need to with your credit card, I'd vote for that guy for the governor of the of Illinois. Right? Because he actually did something that bothers me every time I deal with the state government.
You know what? The Secretary of State's offices here in Illinois, you know what they need? And nationwide, I'll just throw this out there. Throw a Starbucks in. Throw some sort of franchise.
Why
like a
is that
Dunkin'.
your solution?
It'd be the meanest and nastiest Starbucks. I told you the story about my, going up to Eureka.
Yeah.
It'd be some horrible.
Yeah.
And I hate to be that way because, of course, my wife's a state employee. But
I know it'd be it. But what I'm saying, hear me out though. If you put a breakfast sandwich in someone's hand, or a cup of coffee, or a hot cocoa, or something
for $12.95.
Right. Some of us aren't poor, Eric. But anyways, if you throw something in someone's hand, if you throw food at somebody, they will take whatever. It's the same thing like Barnes and Nobles, Borders. Like Borders folded because I think they were just like, hey, look at our books. And Barnes and Nobles, every one of them has like a Gloria Jeans or a Starbucks in it.
Look at our accounting, and that's a problem, or look at our books.
Yeah.
No, some of
well,
that
maybe
too.
the real issue is that I couldn't get my work done because I had money and they wouldn't take my money, and I had a credit card and they wouldn't take my credit card. Maybe that's the real issue.
Yeah, I don't think you need to shove a sandwich in my face to get me past this. That might be, you know what? Let's think of the things that would pacify. I mean, to me, coffee's good. But
It's a PG-13 show.
Yeah,
so
but maybe half fried chicken.
maybe half fried chicken would do
alluding to the pre-show. Maybe that would be the ticket. And for you, obviously it's coffee. And then for Gabe, I mean, what would pacify you?
I would like to be able to do what I came to do and leave.
Okay.
No food
business.
or beverages, please.
All right.
No nonsense. Okay. If anybody else has suggestions on how to improve the Secretary of State's offices or Bureau of Motor Vehicles, by the way, Indiana calls them BMVs.
Oh.
And when I first moved there, I'm like, what's a BMV? Is that like a...
It's like an SUV.
But you know what? In Alabama, because I called them because of the title transfer, they do it at the courthouse. They have no DMV.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
There's some states where a bill of sale will register a car.
They required a bill of sale. I couldn't just give them the signed title. That wasn't good enough.
You had to
it's
print
crazy.
one out.
Yeah.
Through like, my BMV.DMV got whatever the hell.
Yeah.
I just wrote one, but yeah.
But don't forget the convenience fee.
Oh my gosh. All right. We're deep into this program at this point. We are so far into this program. It's about an hour and a half.
Oh, yeah.
You got the game show music going?
Sure do.
All right. Cars of the Week. Man, I haven't done a Cars of the Week with Gabe in forever. Everybody knows what Cars of the Week is, right? Do I have to do a renewal here and talk about it?
Just do the 10 peso version.
The 10 peso version? I've been looking at cars online. I know Daryl's done the same thing. I know Gabe probably bought something this week.
Oh, too much.
Yeah, but Cars of the Week is where we scheme it, we dream it, and we share it with our significant others. Apparently, some significant others are like nicer about letting their husbands buy whatever they want.
They're supportive.
I wish I had
loving spouses.
Thankfully, my wife doesn't listen, but Rachel listens, and Rachel must be the most supportive wife in the world.
Wife of the year.
So really,
we love you.
It's just cars I want to buy with Gabe Casey, and then weakness for Daryl and I.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's Cars of the Week.
Pretty much. So, Gabe, we usually get... Do you change this up?
I did.
Okay, I'm scrolling down here. What did you have before? What was your first pick?
So, first and foremost, I did buy 2 Coleman 100 little dirt bikes for my kids this week.
You bought more stuff.
Yeah, they're in my garage. They were cheap. It was fun.
What is it, like a little 50cc or something?
It's 3 horsepower Coleman engine.
Really?
And it's like a fixed
those little
gear.
1-speed, with the centrifugal clutch.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're fun.
Is it the kind you
With the
like
jumbo
ride on
wheels,
the beach?
jumbo wheels, yeah.
Okay.
Big padded seat.
Yeah, because I got them the dirt bike, and they can't master the dirt bike yet.
That was
I'm
a
scared
pit
with them.
bike. It was
No, I bought them a legit dirt bike.
Oh, really?
I bought them a Honda
It's a little-
50.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the automatic clutch with 3-speed. I can rock on that thing.
Just keep that around for a couple
I
years.
rode it on the roads one time.
What'd that thing? Did it double in value during inflation?
No, not really, actually. But it's
thought it
fine.
would.
It'll be fine. But anyways, I bought that as an interim. So I did buy something, but I wanted to buy one other thing, and that was like a World War II BMW motorcycle with a sidecar, like the metal sidecar.
That's not even on here.
No, I had it on there and I took it off. And it had like the actual drive shaft over to like the side wheel. So it was like a 2-wheel drive motorcycle.
Oh, it was like the Russian. Didn't they make it like a Russian bike?
It was not a Ural.
Okay,
no.
Ural.
It was BMW.
Okay.
And it went for I literally marked in my calendar, start bidding on BMW, buy BMW. And then I started looking at it and I was like, I don't have the room. We don't have the money. It went for $27,000.
I believe it.
Wow.
Ridiculous.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah. But they're awesome. But so anyways, I had that as my car of the week because I really wanted it. But then the other day I found this amazing 1991 Acura NSX. And it's not for everybody. It's not for the purist because it's highly modified. But you know what? It's got 12,000 miles on it. And it's like in the $40,000 range. It's also like in Swedish kroners or something weird.
Ah, okay.
You know, I don't have that. But it has a Veilside Widebody Kit. It's a manual, which I want. And I want it.
It's in Europe right now?
Yeah, it's like in Sweden or something.
I guess we did do like myitaliancar.com or something like that.
Yeah, you've done some eccentric weird stuff.
But like, look how beautiful it looks. Like, it's got some Honda badging on it. It's got like an S2000, this and that, and
it looks like a Ferrari.
It does.
It looks
those cars do anyway.
They do.
A pure one does look like a Ferrari. What would this car be worth twice as much without all that garbage on it?
In the U.S., without all the garbage, it'd be worth 70, 80 grand.
Okay,
easy.
all right, that's what I thought.
Easy.
Yeah. So this perversion that they've done, it's actually cost them money.
Well, and the fact that it's in Europe, I think doesn't help.
So what would it cost? About $4,000 to import something like that, you think?
They said they'd ship it for $10,000. I don't know if that's like the all-in price, but
they'd wrap it, put a bow on it, like the Lexus commercial.
No idea.
It is. I'll tell you what.
Get pirate insurance.
Usually when I hear body kits on an exotic, I think, oh, they just ruined it. This actually looks pretty killer.
No, it looks good.
See, I don't like it because to me it looks like a 3000 GT. I think they.
Ooh.
That's a stretch, but I can see it.
Yeah, a little bit. The more you said it.
Oh, it looks like a Stealth. Ooh.
I like the.
Ooh.
You know what? In high school, I wanted the Dodge Stealth. So
the Stealth
you want to go out
RT?
back and fight?
So yeah,
The Stealth RT
Let's do
twin
this.
turbo.
here's a $40,000 Stealth. Have fun with it.
Yeah, but it's a 12,000 mile NSX underneath all of it, which would actually be a lot of car for the money.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even if you bought it and imported it,
Maybe it's all got dum-dum and double-sided tape. You can just like rip it all off.
it's just
I'll just
3M.
peel it off like the plastic dip. No, I love it. It's gorgeous.
Plastic razor. You'll get $40,000 more with a plastic razor.
You could. Nice looking car. It's finished in almost like that same red that a Ferrari would be.
Yeah.
So good selection. Where did you find this?
It was on a Facebook notification for me because apparently I click on things I shouldn't. So it was like, hey, look at this cool car.
Well,
I'm
at least if that's
sweet.
the worst you're clicking on, that's not so bad.
Yeah.
When you say
Mine are
clicking on
cars.
things I
Eric,
shouldn't-
what are yours? What are yours?
SoldierofFortune.com.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be fighting in the Urals next year.
I'm just trying to hire some mercenaries.
Yeah.
At Eric in Ukraine.
Yeah.
So weird.
Daryl, I mean, I've seen a lot of cars pass Cars of the Week with you.
Yeah.
This one, is this
Did he pick this?
is this a super chicken?
Did he misclick?
It is a super chicken. I haven't heard of that in forever. So yeah, my pick this week is a much more mundane, not as cool as Gabe's, 1989 Ford Thunderbird Turbo Coupe. It's actually not a turbo; it's a super coupe. I should. That's a typo on my band. So there's a turbo coupe that came out in the early '80s, lasted until I think '89. '89, of course, they restyled the Thunderbird, and they said, you know what, a turbo's not good enough. Let's make it a supercharger. And they actually made it from a 4-cylinder to a V6. It's a 3.8 V6. And if anybody that's ever owned a 3.8 Ford, especially with a blower on it, they blow head gaskets like every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So I had a friend of mine whose dad made a tidy sum of money just doing backyard fixes and doing head gaskets on 3.8s that blew up. He was a machinist and made tons of money because everybody that had one of these cars popped a head gasket, especially the 5-speeds. You'd be out beating on it. And I remember going over and hanging out with him, and there was always one of these things sitting in the driveway that he's working on for a customer. And I love the lines. They got a cool, speaking of body kits, they've kind of the ground effects, kind of the aero spoilers and the cool rims and stuff like that. This one is one I found on Facebook Marketplace. It's local. I can't remember where, but it's somewhere close by. It's white with gray leather seats, and it's got a 5-speed. And it actually has a rebuilt transmission, probably because it blew up too. It's got a remanufactured engine because that probably blew up. 19-inch rims, Continental tires. Ooh. And it has a Pioneer Bluetooth stereo, so that's great. Comes with extra parts, again, because the original ones blew up, and they just put it in a bucket.
This is a great sell, by the way.
I got to be honest with you. I mean, every other car you've ever had on Cars of the Week, you've had like a little passion for.
Yeah.
Is there something deep-seated that you liked about these cars?
It's nostalgia. Listen to them. It was in the next door. I saw it all the time, and I never got it, and I want it.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, I get it, because it sucks.
Yep. Yep.
But you always wanted it, and you could never have it.
The passion sucks or this car sucks?
The car sucks.
These things do suck. They're terrible.
The passion's legit. I respect him.
But here's the thing. Growing up as a Mustang, as Fox Body Mustang,
Sure. Okay. All right.
the T-Bird shared a lot of Fox Body chassis components.
So does a Crown Vic.
Right. But the benefit to these is these had an independent rear suspension.
Okay.
So the stuff that the Fox Body Cobras in 03 and 04 got, the independent rear suspension with the little half shafts and stuff like that, better handling, 5-lug rims. These things, unfortunately, became parts cars for a lot of Mustangs that people wanted a hot rod and wanted a 5-lug swap and bigger brakes and all that. So I always had, going back to your thing about having a soft spot for trying to rescue stuff.
Yeah.
Some people rescue cats and dogs and whatever, or, boyfriends. I actually...
Fair.
I'll fix him. He'll be better.
Yeah.
No, he won't. That's how I feel about the Thunderbird Super Coupes. I always felt bad for them. They lived a terrible life, and they usually got picked apart. This thing still runs, drives. It's got some new parts. $4,800. I think it's a bargain, at least until... it's time to put a head gasket on it.
Daryl's going to turn it around. It's got potential. He could do it.
It does.
It
might
be
honey,
world-class.
this is the one. This is the one.
Yeah.
You don't know the car when it's around me. It's different.
Yeah. Oh man.
That's brutal.
That's the best.
That's actually.
Yeah.
That's brutal.
Yeah.
It's true though. It's true. So, anyways, for $4,800, I would take this and autocross it once or twice, and then.
It would blow up.
And then you'd call WCBU and donate it.
I would donate it and get that tax write-off for how much fair market value? $4,800. No, make it $5,000. It's $5,000.
We'll round up for that sad story.
Anyway, that's my sad sack story.
Oh,
Eric,
man.
You have a couple pictures here. Both of them are complete opposite weird ends of the spectrum. I don't know what you have going on.
I don't know that it was even worth mentioning, but I talked about Katy, my Kubota, 2 years ago. I sold it.
Yeah.
It's almost like Facebook Marketplace knew that my tractor was now back for sale in Mackinac, Illinois.
Are you serious?
Yes. So this is Katy. She showed back up on Facebook Marketplace.
You're serious?
Yeah, and it kind of made me sad because they're now asking about $3,000 more than I asked for it, when he bought it from me for, $3,800?
But you made a bunch of money on that. Right?
Yeah. I held the tractor for 15 years and made money on it. Yeah, it was not a big deal, but still. Kind of makes me a little sad to see a little tractor that needs just a little loving again. But
see, you have it too. You just don't have it to the same degree.
Yeah, exactly. But what I did find, I don't even know why I was looking this up. I hadn't watched the movie Chef in a long time, and for whatever reason, I decided I'm going to look up food trucks, food carts. And maybe a food cart showed up in my feed at some point. So
maybe he was just hungry.
Maybe I was. So
lunchtime.
So I started looking up food trucks, and I'm going to tell you this: it's just like Airstreams. The scams on food trucks. They must know that everybody in the world, and I think this one probably is a scam. Now, the more I look at it, I think it's a scam. They want $24,000 for this 1975 Chevy P30 taco truck. It's for sale in Chicago.
Ooh, I like tacos.
Yeah, I do too. So, it's a pretty cool-looking truck. I don't even know if it drives. It probably has a blown head gasket. Maybe you just push it around, or I tow it with tree hugger to a spot and just let it sit there and you serve food out the window. But
bring a taco truck on a flatbed everywhere you go.
Exactly. But it's a cool truck. I'm just telling you, we buy some tortillas by the case, get some taco seasoning, a couple flank steaks, and we'll make $1 million in the Spoon River Drive, Daryl. I've got this all figured out.
Dude, I've heard stories of people making $30,000 to $40,000 in basically 2 weekends making ribbon fries or onion rings.
Well, when you're charging $15 for Philly cheesesteaks in Canton, Illinois, I imagine you could probably power the church through the fundraiser, right?
What do you get for $15 at Jimmy John's? About the same.
Two subs.
You don't get two.
Freaky fast.
You don't get two.
Well, okay, there's more tax in Peoria. It's cheaper in Morton than you pay. Seriously.
Oh, yeah. I get a whole nother half sandwich probably for what you're paying.
I'm not joking.
I don't live in another country.
It's another county.
It's not like I'm in the Virgin
city.
Islands.
It's bad.
It's up there, but still.
Moved to Tazewell.
I guess.
So anyway, I had it all figured out in my head. I sold myself in my head. I was ready to become a taco entrepreneur. And then I thought about it a little bit longer. I'm like, I think I'll just close the computer now. I won't even show that one to the wife. I only showed it to you guys because I thought you guys might be crazy enough to jump on this plan with me.
Because it's shameful. That's why I didn't show the wife.
Are we doing it?
I know your wife.
Oh,
I know your wife a little bit. I don't know her well, but I would just say if you showed this to her, I imagine it would have gone over as well as a lead balloon. What do you think?
The proverbial lead balloon would actually have tried to fly in my living room.
Let me rephrase my answer. It's a no for me, dog.
Oh, dog. What if it was footlong hot dogs?
No.
Yeah, seriously. What about
What if it was Costco hot dogs?
They don't make money on those. They lose money.
That's beside the point. You're looking from a business perspective.
Yeah, come on. That's the price leader, man.
My passion is tacos.
That's what I'm saying.
He just gave you the solution to all of life's problems.
We can make $30,000 in 2 weekends somewhere.
It only cost us $35.
It only costs you $24.5.
And then maybe I can rent it out on Outdoorsy.
It's
maybe else get somebody. That's what you do. You rent it. You lease it to somebody else. That's how Nacho Mama.
Yeah,
lost all of her. She was leasing those vans, and the van that blew up, and all and people couldn't make money driving them.
Right.
It's almost like owning a taxi company. The taxi driver gets screwed no matter what. The guy who owns the cars is the only one who makes money in that situation, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I'm still buying it. I'm in my head.
That's a good call. It's a good call. Solid business decision. And if your wife is listening,
which she's not,
call the financial advisor.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, we'd like to thank Gabe for coming out and joining us tonight. He made it extra long and extra fun.
He sure did.
Well, that's...
I'm knocking stuff over.
Family-friendly show, Gabe.
It is.
I said hey-o.
Oh.
Is that inappropriate?
What did you think he said?
Never mind.
It was the innuendo.
Yes. It was. He was thinking you were singing some hip-hop song from the 90s.
It was.
Anyways, I think I learned a lot tonight. I learned about expedited titles. I learned Eric's got a great opportunity to buy a taco truck and make tons of money. We learned that Lordstown is a functional business.
Almost 3.
Not the model we probably want to follow. Although, if we were to build cars, we probably would do it much like Lordstown.
We would. We'd probably be lucky to get 2 out the door.
We would have had more done at this point if we built them by hand.
Maybe. And I also learned that Gabe is slowly turning into an old man like us.
That's the best news of the night.
It is. All right. Well, I'm Daryl Scott.
I'm Eric Stahl.
And I'm Gabe Casey.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you next time.